This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to Dr. TSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello. Let me straight away introduce the guest as we are just couple of minutes late. Apologies. I have, as usual, Colonel Sanjay Srivastava ji. I need not mention what he is up to, what he has been doing. In addition, he has added even COVID-19 warfare. And we have all-weather man, Dr. KJ Ramesh ji, the boss of IMD, ex-boss of IMD, and is fondly remembered as all-weather man. And then we have Dr. V.S. Prakash joining from Tamil Nadu, if I'm not, Karnataka. All into public utility services. When it matters, where it matters, these dependable souls are always there, because we are going through such a sad phase. In the morning I woke up, saw people dying of lightning. I felt very bad. Youngsters, whether it is in Jaipur, Rajasthan or Uttar Pradesh, it really baffled me. Immediately I said, Colonel ji, I have another invitation, official invitation, but no, you have to come, because through Colonel ji, through his honored friends, we have been trying to sensitize people, because I was doing my live show from the place very close to Western Ghats, where the place is very prone to these lightnings and thunderstorms. We were trying to sensitize people. When we are doing, we lost another good friend in Prasad at 39 years of age. My heartfelt condolences to the family and my sincere prayers for his soul to rest in peace. 2 shows he appeared. The way he used to promote the information, making live show very reliable and viable. Both Mr. Ramesh and Colonel Srivastava ji were enjoying it. Unfortunately, we lost that great soul. We feel sorry, but the life has to run. And by our esteemed guest, one minute for Mr. Prasad, then I'll make Sanjay Srivastava ji the host, so that he can. Yeah, Sanjay ji, kindly use.
Lightning is a very routine phenomena which we all know. It takes place every year, similar months, similar time, similar places. Yet we have the losses. We know our India Meteorological Department, our scientists have done great job. And despite this, we find people losing life. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. You can just enlarge it. You can. I think you can. Yeah, wonderful. Yes, sir.
In fact, there was a time in 2018 when the lightning death numbers officially had crossed 4,000. And it was a big hue and cry. And Dr. KJ Ramesh sir was the DG IMD. And the country is indebted to him for initiating lightning forecast, lightning early warning from India Met Department. It was 1st April 2019 when India Met Department, IMD, has started lightning forecast. And along with this came the Lightning Resilient India campaign to take this early warning to the community through a collective effort. Our aim was to reduce the deaths by 80% in next 3 years. We had two-pronged approach. One was to stop death due to lightning immediately, and second was long-term goal of climate change adaptation. So far, our entire Lightning Resilient India campaign is confined to now 3 simple things. lightning early warning. We have a Damini app in place, which is functional across the country and most versatile app. Second is do's and don'ts. During lightning, what to do, what not to do. And third, lightning protection system, that is lightning conductor or arrestor. These are three simple things. But whose baby it is? Lightning, is it a disaster? Go to Rajasthan? No, it's not a disaster. Go to Madhya Pradesh? No, it's not a disaster. Ironically, if you take all the disasters in Madhya Pradesh, the highest deaths in last 20 years, average per year death has been 373. Yet the state is ignorant. In Rajasthan, the deaths have been more than 60. Yet the state does not recognize this as a disaster. So the entire efforts put on early warning, do's and don'ts, training, capacity building, awareness, and installation of lightning protection. Who is the owner? Who owns it? National government, state government, district, you and me. We need an answer to this question. Our scientists have done great job, and right 5 days in advance, forecast is coming. But who is the owner of this forecast? After it is released from IMD, does state take some action? What is the action at district level? Who is accountable at block level and village level? That is my question. With this, I would like to hand it over to you to take it to the other panelists, please.
Yeah, before that, I want you to explain the do's and don'ts once again. That's fundamental. Do's and don'ts.
The very basic fundamentals are the Pakka house, the concrete house, is the safest place for lightning. Stay away from isolated tall trees, tall buildings, electric poles, or any isolated tall structure. Your car, your bus is safe, but not your motorcycle. Stay away from water bodies. And if you are trapped, present a small target. This is a small target. This is how you should sit down. Your heels should be together. If your heels are together, you will present a single target and current will not enter your body, it will pass through. So you will survive. Your school building, your home, your car is safe. Your football ground is unsafe. Whenever lightning roars, never stand under tree or outdoor. And again, our last point, don't take selfie during lightning. You saw what happened at Amer Fort at Jaipur. This is most important point. Don't use mobile or you take selfie during lightning. Over to you, Dr. Reddy.
Very kind of you. Thanks a lot, because these are the smallest things which people tend to ignore, and that is why they are getting killed, unfortunately. In spite of the early warnings which has been happening very regularly. I think you need to. You want to continue to be presenter, or?
No, you remove me.
Yes. Is it okay? Yeah, Ramesh ji,
It's okay.
you have been the all-weather man. Thanks to you, you could reform, and you could make India, or for that matter, every state, to get the early warning in regards to the changes in the weather patterns. In spite of this, because Just yesterday, I think close to 40 or 50 deaths, which are reported. Unreported, God knows.
Yes.
My heart goes with all those families and let those souls rest in peace. But do not get into such type of tricky situations. What is happening? Is this in the implementation part? In spite of early warning, why is that people are dying?
Yeah, this is so far 3 years before everybody was asking, without warning, how can you protect the people? Okay, science has evolved. Now, not only prediction by the models, now you have a continuous monitoring and detection of lightning hotspots. And with the thunderstorm moving, how those hotspots are moving, how the intensity of flashes are moving, and so much of information with the 10 minutes update and 30 minutes update are presented through websites and apps, the mini app, etc. But the kind of information that should get percolated to individual level, that was another challenge. Why? Because like cyclone or flood, you don't have a couple of days of lead time before it makes the landfall. So this is only a total thunderstorm and lightning develops from genesis to dissipation. It's only a 4 hour phenomena from genesis to dissipation. So it moves around 400, 500 kilometers in its life cycle. So 24 hours before you are having an idea by the model, 2 days before you have an idea from the model, probable hotspots where this can take genesis and then move in a particular way, and hotspot zones are indicative. So that is an alert sort of and a watch sort of information that is available. And then when the time comes closer to that, you start monitoring by satellites, and then lightning sensor network data superimposed over that with flash and intensities, along with that, and the Doppler weather radar, where it gives where the volume of the water, liquid water in the satellite, in the clouds increases, then the lightning potential also increases. So both are equally correlated. Even that information is co-located and shared with the people. And at the same time, the biggest challenge was how quickly we can communicate to the people living in those hot spots directly. See, so far the practice was going through NDMA, CMA, and then send it through district authorities. That's how the emergency response for cyclones and floods has been evolving and then implemented. NDRF came, and so response systems have become more came into accelerated actions, etc. So since it is only a 4 hour phenomena, within 4 hours you should be able to communicate. So intensification phase and dissipation phase might last only an hour within these 4 hours. So how to push this information? That was a challenge. So NDMA came, and they CDOT, Center for Development of Telematics, that institution, their software people have developed an application on the principle of Common Alert Protocol advocated by the World Meteorological Organization. And this protocol, the software required for this protocol was built, and BSNL network, with BSNL network, this software was Common Alert Protocol dissemination software, alert dissemination software was tested. And then now I was told NDMA has implemented this protocol. So it works in a simple way, saying that without really knowing the cell phone numbers of the people who are living in that hottest parts of different parts of the country, you can push this warning message to take safety to themselves and their dear ones, families, by directly pushing the message to all active cell phones through the towers of that particular cluster which we have identified with by lat long. We can identify a cluster on the map, and message can be pushed to them directly. So all service providers and all their cell towers active in that area will push it on priority to individual all active cell phones through an SMS mechanism through this. So this was the only mechanism possible, and that was made converted into a reality now in this country. Now IMD and Central Water Commission and several disaster management authorities also pushed this information, and for COVID information exchange and giving some local level informations, even when local clusters are established and the lockdowns are micro level lockdowns are to be monitored and alerted. So this protocol has been used even for COVID management. So it has a multiple benefits, and this is implemented fortunately. So even after this, we are seeing the deaths. Although considerable reduction of the deaths have happened, but not to the extent we envisage with the kind of information pushed and multiple levels and regional languages. IEC campaign is there. So much of training of trainers and has taken place with Red Cross and several other organizations, district level and state level. But still, now the only awareness campaign taking it to village level, which the way now Jharkhand has started, is the way forward to make and ensure that all people know what they should not do when lightning is likely to strike. I think that is the crux of the problem, and we have to work very strongly in that direction. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, sir, again. Prakash ji,
Yeah.
what do you think the reasons of
Uh,
such precious lives being
no,
lost?
probably, in my opinion, the lightning is part of the weather monitoring system. The weather monitoring system needs large improvement in the country. Much has been done, but a lot more needs to be done, in my opinion. And as Dr. Ramesh rightly said, lightning forecast is based on the satellite observations. Input is from network of Doppler radar and lightning detection sensors. Apart from this, probably we need to think about what actually happening in the field. Just I would like to share with you all a incident which happened in Karnataka, Gulbarga. Kalburgi, it's called Kalburgi, Gulbarga district of Jaipur, on 1st May 2021. 1st May 2021, and it's a Bardal village in Jaipur. A farmer by name Bojraj, he was, lightning struck him and he died. And his son is a BE, final year student, and now because of COVID, he is in the hometown. He was helping his farmer. About 50 to 100 farmers call me now today every day for various reasons, basically of the weather information. And so he called me, and when I was talking to him, he said, "This is what has happened." Then I was just talking to him, how it has happened, things like that. He said, "We got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We need to have a lot of work in the field." So the children, they went early, the father came late. In the evening, now there was a overcast sky, and so father said, it's going to, a thunderstorm, ಸಿಡಿಲು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಡಿಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಿಡಿಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ, let us all go and safe place. There is a farmhouse, and so the children said, "Father, you go, you hogi, आप चाहिए, जाइए हम आएंगे." The father was moving towards the farmhouse, and while moving towards the farmhouse, he had put his, maybe that lungi towel on a tree. He just put his hand to take the cloth from the tree, and the lightning struck and he died. So these children, they were observing all the things happening in front of their eyes. So I just picked up a conversation and asked Bojana, "So do you have any link to the information warning?" "Sir, yes, sir. I do get message." "Did you get the message on that day?" "Sir, we do get message, but we get message after the incidence of lightning happens. Sometimes it is there after 45 minutes, after half an hour, after 1 hour, we get the message." Number two, as an engineering student, he was just sharing with me. So also we are told not to use mobile phone during the lightning. So there is sort of, some people think that, we should not use a mobile phone, switch it off, whatever it is, TV, whatever it is. And also the power normally goes off during this time. So I was asked him, Basaraj, his son, to just keep a watch on this and give me more information what happens in and around this village. So then this again, uh, lightning strikes more as the world warms up, and Dr. Ramesh has said about it. Colonel Sanjay sir has also said about it. We need to do a lot of evaluation, region specific, sector wise. Gaps need to be identified and need to be redressal need to be done. So there is a lot of still knowing and doing. Still need to be. And we need to discuss about it. We know quite a bit, and doing it maybe we need a lot of convergence between various departments. For example, animal husbandry, the forest department, RDPR, even the Gram Panchayat level. Probably there is a lot of convergence is required, and a lot more needs to be done with it. And that's a strengthening of weather monitoring system. Probably in my own experience, lightning is associated with, gale wind, the temperature going down drastically by about 6 to 8 degrees centigrade, And well, these things do happen, high intensity rain. Well, these are the things which can be really linked to the other observations, to satellite observations, Doppler radar, and lightning detection sensors, and well, which can be made known to the people the way they can understand. Well, these are some of the things which comes to my mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, sir. Sanjay ji. Sanjay ji. Because we were trying to do shows from Kerala, very close to Western Ghats, but I've never seen, because even I was doing live show for more than 1 year, I've never received anything, nor my relatives or friends, I've never seen receiving them these messages, these early warnings, nor there is any awareness, because I see even the adults playing under tall trees. When I tried to reason with them, they were laughing at me. A learned society like Kerala, unfortunately. How do you look at this scenario? Because I had to just get into my mobile and check the mobile, at least it has the courtesy, it shows when we try to hit the weather in a good mobile, not ordinary mobiles. It is strange. There were no messages received at all.
Have you downloaded Damini app?
No, sir. That's what we are not aware. After you started sending, then I was sharing it with everyone. To be honest, no one knows.
You see, we have a very good app, mobile app.
Yeah.
This app, Damini app.
Okay.
Everybody should download this app, Damini. You see, I am in Delhi and it is showing there is no danger. Read the line below in green. The moment you are in the danger zone, this bottom right up will turn into red and will guide you, take shelter. So this is what has been done for early warning. You can have early warning in your pocket, in your palm top, and you should use it. We have been telling people, advocating people, use it, use it. So we need to publicize this Damini app. That is the app which everyone should have. I have it on my mobile, and I was like on tour last week, or for that matter in house when I am there. There is always a message which comes to me. There is going to be lightning, there is going to be thunderstorm, and even the routine work, which is there in the house, like clothes drying up in the balcony, they are lifted based on this message. So such a useful app which is there from, India Met Department, this should be publicized. This is most important. And coming to lightning, the very first thing in any disaster is understanding the disaster, knowing the hazard. And lightning is a hazard which is different from other hazards. I'll request you to give me the sharing rights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm giving you. Yes, sir. Go
My
ahead.
only appeal.
And you just show Damini app also once, so that because there were messages now. Yeah, go ahead, sir. This is important because youngsters have died in Rajasthan clicking during lightning. Very unfortunate.
People have died, but most important thing in lightning is it is not a rocket science. People should be educated, about lightning, understand the hazard. It is, as Dr. Ramesh sir has told you, it is not a disaster where you get 4 days, 7 days warning period. It is just a phenomena of 3 to 4 hours. So you get very less reaction time. So lightning hazard has to be explained to people, and how to save themselves. It has to be, trained. A lot of awareness has to be done. People have to be told that lightning strikes in two ways. One is vertical strike, and second is lateral strike. A farmer standing in one field, seeing the guy in the far away, he says he will not be struck. But in an open ground, see this lateral strike. Anyone standing in such open field will get, hit. So people must realize lightning strikes vertically from top to ground, and in ground these are the lateral or secondary strikes. So vertical strikes are fatal in dense area, height, isolated tall structures like trees, poles, towers. Yesterday people were at tower, and despite standing at tower, they were not alerted. The alert was issued by the Jaipur Center. India Meteorological Center at Jaipur, it had issued the alert, but it did not reach the victims. And at the tower, there were lightning conductors also. There were 3 lightning conductors, but it failed. So it is important that you should know how lightning strikes. As far as the impact of lightning is concerned, you get injury to living being by electric shock, failure of electric and electronic equipment, and physical damage. The result is loss of human life, loss of services, loss of cultural heritage, and economic losses. Then the impact of lightning. You see, when lightning strikes, there is step voltage. The difference of voltage between your steps, this is called step voltage. So if your legs are apart, there will be a bigger voltage and you will be electrocuted. Similarly, your ear diaphragm is hit, so you may go deaf. Third impact is on your respiratory system or your heart. So there is unbalancing of the voltage, which makes the heart click. So your heartbeat may stop. So these are the impacts which you should know. There are urban lightning, there is rural lightning. You can see in rural lightning, it is coming from top, going to the side. This is coastal lightning. And there are ways to identify when lightning is around. Your hair rises, your skin tingles, there are flashes, and there is 5-second rule. If you see the light, the flashes, you should count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can count 5 and you hear the sound, it means lightning is 1 mile away. If you can count up to 10, it is 2 miles away. So these sort of systems are there. Then comes our technological evolution. That is India Meteorological Department using its radar, satellites, and lightning detection network and giving you a processed output. I am I am also being questioned on what makes lightning. So lightning, the basic condition is moisture and hot surface, what you need. So whenever you have a hot area, that becomes a potential hot surface for lightning. Whenever there will be moisture, there will be convection and there will be thunderstorm, electric charge will be developed, there will be development of intercloud flashes, cloud which will come down. And that will come down with huge sound, energy content and current in it. So it is important that we should know what is there in lightning and then about the lightning app, Damini. This is available in the Play Store for both Android phone as well as for iPhone. This should be downloaded. Action on receipt of early warning. It is very important that you should know what to do on receipt of early warning. So wherever you are, you should identify safe shelter for you. Never stand under tall tree, water body, tin roof, electric poles or towers or high ground or open area. Alert others. You must alert people around you. Call children who are playing to the safe shelter to home. Alert farmers. If somebody has gone outside to jungle for fishing or any outside activity, please alert them, please call them. Generally, this warning is for 30 to 40 minutes. Once the warning is over, go back to work. Lightning do's and don'ts. During peace time, during no lightning time, please practice them and teach others. These are the areas in a village which you must identify which are dangerous, which are safe. Like this peak is dangerous, this water body is dangerous, this tree is dangerous. So you should not visit. You should also apprise people about the safe areas. And you should also publicize the
Show
various
the
do's
show the
and
safe
don'ts.
areas, sir. Show the safe areas once again. Yeah. Safe areas first.
See, these are the dangerous areas. Hill, peak of the hill, this tree, this water body. But there are shadow area, this slope area. There are areas, grove. This is safer areas. And if you can see more clear, this foothill, this is the safest area. Lightning will strike here. So this is a safer area. Similarly, low ground, away from trees, these are the safer areas. Put on waterproofs and sit on mat with knees drawn up on the body. Ideally, put a waterproof or a dry stuff and sit there. Present a small target away from cracks and ridges. That's the simpler way. So these are the lightning, awareness material which says don't stand under tree. You must have a lightning arrestor in your house. Your trees can give potential voltage to the house, so there should not be a single tree next to the house. You should have a grove, at least 4 or 5 trees together. Similarly, you should also have knowledge about lightning safe position. If you get trapped in open, sit in a crouch position with heels together, your both ears covered up, head lowered, eyes closed. And if you are in a group, don't crouch together. Maintain a distance with each other. So that's very important. This is again lightning safe position, which is shown. This heels together is very important. If your heels are touching each other, you present a single target and current will not enter your body. Your football ground is not safe. Step 1, leave the field immediately. Step 2, seek shelter in an enclosed building, school, home, or car, or bus. Your car is a safer device, or a house indoor is a safer device. When you are inside the house, close your windows, close your doors. Do not stand on veranda. And 70% people in India die due to this. So, when lightning roars, never stand under tree or outdoor. Pakka house is the safest. And again, our tagline, you should know the early warning, do's and don'ts, and install lightning arrestor. And lesson from yesterday, Amir Fort, do not take selfie during lightning. In fact, when I posted this about 2 months back, I was laughed at. I was mocked by a few people at the National Forum. And such advisories should be taken seriously and people should abide by it to save life. Similarly, when lightning is there, stay away from windows and doors. Do not use your water taps. Do not take bath from your tap. Lightning rod is most important. You must install a lightning conductor or arrestor. This is a device which is locally made, which is affordable, and I'm showing you the school in South 24 Pargana district of Bengal, and this is the IEC 62305, the Indian Electrical Code as per the National Building Code of India. So this device is compliant to the law and it is affordable, locally made. You can take a metal frame on top, put a down conductor which should be metal, and you can put the earthing as given on this device. So you can make a locally also lightning safe device. So this is how we have advised people. We have also given the cost of a proper device costs around 70,000 rupees to 1.5 lakh. So that's all from my side. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very well informed. Again, I hope this will be very, very relevant. At least now, people should not be cribbing that they don't have sufficient information. I only hope they would overcome such type of pathetic situations. Ramesh ji, in spite of all this, why is that India doesn't consider lightning or, for that matter, associated phenomena as national disasters? Or simply, how is that the affected or the target regions are still not notified? That clearly, because even I am under confusion now. At least today, I am trying to overcome that confusion.
It is basically because of one particular reason. As I am associated with the NDMA deliberations and the guideline preparations from the beginning, so there is so much to do in India for disaster management at different levels, different scales. So they have focused more on the large scale disasters, impacting disasters with wider implications at a state level, couple of states and coastlines like cyclones, floods, etc., etc. So now the focus has come to the local hazards like lightning, heat wave, which were not focused that much earlier in the initial stages, maybe up to 2012 or so. And subsequently, these things, local hazards and their impacts came into prominence now. And definitely, national level consultation has been happening for last 3 years. Definitely, at least from 2018, a lot of consultation by NDMA and authorities at the national level, state level, and the knowledge institutions, and the mere emergence of Lightning Resilient India campaign, jointly launched by IMD and Colonel Srivastava. Now, several states have joined together. So things have changed from the beginning to now, and state governments are announcing compensation and safety uh, campaigns, lightning safety campaigns, and in local language, etc. Several state governments are very strongly and forcefully advocating, and states like frontline states are Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, where their own state government apps like TN Smart or Satark by Orissa government, so are integrated with lightning warnings, which have larger penetration right up to the block level, and some panchayat level authorities are also linked to those networks. And definitely appreciation need to integrate this information and push it as quickly as possible, because total time is hardly 1 hour to 1.5 hours before it strikes. So that's where the challenge, because despite having a protocol, as you said and Dr. Prakash said, message really delivered, although it is supposed to be instantaneous, high priority pushing through this cap. Even then, alerts are received by the people after that. But on the other side, the kind of pre-existing conditions which Colonel Ji has mentioned, like very dark clouds develop overhead, and they come towards the area where you are exposed from one corner of your horizon, and strong temperature decreases strongly, and wind gust increases. So without really waiting for other things to happen, you should one should try to go to a safer place. You will definitely have a time of 30 minutes. Once you see the dark clouds hovering over you, the beginning of that phenomena surrounding you in an open field when you are there, so you should start responding to that catastrophic time event to be developed over that region. So this kind of thumb rules and another self level response mechanisms, I think these things got to be conveyed to the people. Even they don't carry the cell phone, don't receive the message, but the conditions, catastrophic conditions developing around you can be seen as a warning signals to go to a safety. So this is what I think we'll have to propagate more in local language, particularly the village level meetings, panchayat level meetings. These things got to be conveyed along with the information about seeds, information about fertilizers, information about housing, and all other government schemes wherever launching is happening. Along with that, Gram Sabhas particularly, they should have a component of lightning safety that has to be bundled there. So definitely that carries more strongly. And then schools, particularly in regions, villages, Jilla Parishad schools and government schools in the region have to be taken seriously. Children of panchayat level high schools, middle schools, and then Jilla Parishad schools, I think more focus of educating the children has to happen. So far, we were focusing more on urban areas. Now, I think whole focus has to move to Jilla Parishad schools and government schools, primary schools in the villages and blocks. So then only perhaps deaths that are happening predominantly in rural areas can be minimized effectively. Thank you.
Yeah. Prakash ji.
I think Dr. Ramesh and Colonel Sanjay ji have made many things amply clear, but what I said in the beginning, there is still a lot of scope and need for evaluation, whatever we have, area specific. For example, you are talking about the Western Ghats, and when you talk about the country as a whole, there are
many states which are highly vulnerable, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, West Bengal. And well, within Karnataka, there are areas where repeatedly the lightning strike chooses particular areas within Karnataka state. You know that, probably here, whatever we have, we have as of now, area specific evaluation, understanding the gaps, and what the local needs, what is the local people, what do they feel, what do they need, what do they need more. Probably this may take us a long way in making it more acceptable with the community, adaptable with the community. Dr. Ramesh said, and Colonel said, probably this is the thing which is needs to be done. And without mincing words, a lot more work needs to be done by DDMAs, District Disaster Management Authorities. When you talk about the Ajmer, I was in Jaipur, served in Jaipur for 5 years, 1978 to 82. And such a place where people who go tourist, they may not be belonging to Jaipur, they may be from far away places also, maybe putting some cautions there. And well, when they go there, because at least I remember my mother as a kids, when we go to school or playing, or whenever she send me for fetching something from a nearby shop, if it is overcast sky, she used to tell me, look, if it is a thunderstorm, if you hear, thundering sound, stay somewhere safe, and put somebody's house, stay there, come out sometime. So still, that is the parents, they used to put a word of caution. I still remember I used to stay in somebody's house till say 30, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is, and come back. My mother knows that, well, because it is a thundering is happening, he must have stayed somewhere in somebody's house, and I used to go back home. So this is what is needed now, as Colonel Sanjay was already pointing out, creating more awareness and bridging the gaps and making the local authorities, DDMA, more active. Probably they now village or going up to the village. And as I said, probably the resolution, the spatial and temporal, something has been done, and something more needs to be done. What is something more? We need to focus on that. And most important thing is, whatever sensors we have been using, they need to be evaluated. In my opinion, I think they really needs a thorough evaluation. Yeah, let's stop here.
Yeah, to everyone, the sensors needs to be re-evaluated, because why not governments make it mandatory, whether it is multi structure or even single households. Why doesn't government make it mandatory to have such arresters, and then even they have to be evaluated? One word from each honored guest before we wind up, and I will make Sanjay ji as a presenter so that you show do's and don'ts before we wind up. Yes, sir.
One other good news which I am going to give you is that in India, the dissemination of early warning by the Disaster Management Act has so far been only up to the state and the district level. I'm thankful to government for making me part of the expert group, and we have prepared a dissemination protocol. We have we have proposed an incident response system at district level, at block level, at panchayat level, and village level.
Wonderful.
This will have
Wonderful.
accountable person, designated person who will be responsible for dissemination in a particular geographical area.
Yes.
And there will be review and monitoring system which we are giving out. It will be released this week. And the common alerting protocol is also being released this week. So this, I hope, is going to make difference, which will make mandatory for all district magistrates, for all block development officer, for all panchayat level functionaries, village level functionaries, responsible to disseminate the early warning which comes from the India Meteorological Department. They will be also responsible for checking the action which is being taken by people. See, these early warnings are mandated early warning. They're legal early warning. It has a legal, implications. People violating it will be put under Disaster Management Act, and they can be tried. So these legal warnings, these mandated early warning coming from India Met Department will be covered under Disaster Management Act and through a protocol. Hope this protocol, when we bring it out, when we release this week, is going to be a big change for the country for dissemination up to last mile. As far as the do's and don'ts, what
Yeah,
you
that I'll
said,
come back to you because before I say bye, after I say bye, I'll share the screen to you with you so that you can
one
present.
important point.
Please, sir.
One important point. Yesterday at Amer Fort, there were 3 lightning conductors which were installed over there. All 3 have failed and people have died.
Shame.
This shows the hollowness of the lightning conductors being put. This is a passive device. I have been harping on. Let's adopt the new technology, get onto the active devices and install a proper lightning conductor. Let's change the rule in India of lightning protection. It's very important. If there was a proper lightning arrestor, people would have not lost a life. Now everybody is going and doing post-mortem, but the one who put the wrong lightning conductor should be charged first. It has 12 people have died and 22 are still hospitalized. So this is a serious culpable offense by the people who have done it. Over to you.
Yes, Ramesh ji. Culpable homicide. Murder cases should be booked against such type of institutions harping on those conductors. What do you think?
People,
Yes, but-
substandard installations got to be identified and corrective steps got to be taken. There's no doubt on that. But on the people side, now we know very well that tin roofed houses are not safe during the lightning. And now with the latest 3-year data, lightning safety campaign report, annually the 3rd report is released just about 2 weeks before. Now 3-year statistics of incidences and their timing, locations are identified. Several states are having nighttime lightning incidences quite big in number. So particularly our hill states where incidences are also quite high, majority of the houses are tin roof houses. So those authorities have to be alerted to take steps to make those tin roof houses, cluster of them with proper active lightning protection devices, arresters, etc. That should be the first priority, I suppose, to ensure the safety. Nighttime, even if you send a message, people will not be in a position to take safety measure, going to a pakka house nearby that or a shelter nearby that, safe shelter nearby that. So you have to make the tin roof houses and cluster of them have to be lightning safe. So that is what is, I think, we should strongly advocate, so that very quickly and with little cost overheads, with the community resources, that should become possible. I think as a group we should advocate that, so that several of the families who are living in tin roofs can be protected due to from the nighttime lightning incidences. Thank you.
But don't you think the government should also play a surveillance or regulatory role after seeing what has happened in Jaipur? Otherwise, who will be responsible? They have gone.
All that has to happen beyond that I am suggesting.
Wonderful. Yes, Prakash ji. Don't you think the complacency of government is also there in allowing tourists? What sin they have done? They have gone to a tourist place, lightning strikes, and they lost their precious lives, in spite of having the arresters.
Yeah, I mean, many things can be said, but no, I personally feel that, as Colonel Sanjay Srivastava has taken a massive campaign, probably such campaigns will certainly create awareness among the community and the people who really matter. Once people are aware of what is going on around them and what is do's and don'ts, probably we can see much more safer world around us as far as lighting is concerned. Till then, probably as it is a matter of time,
Yeah.
probably today has happened and we discuss and did not
Yes.
forget about it. But there's a big mission, Colonel Sanjay Srivastava ji has taken it up, and maybe he has to, as a Shankaracharya, he has to come towards south also. He has a lot of vulnerable areas. In the
God
south.
bless him. I only hope his wife allows him to travel more now during COVID pandemic. Right.
So not
Very
only
true.
should we all of us need to join hands and there is a big responsibility.
I know.
And Dr. Ramesh is there. Big
Yes,
champion.
he is all weather man. He has
We
done.
need
He
to take it
has
forward.
contributed. See, early warning, awareness. He has contributed, but in spite of that, having two arresters, people are dying. It's shaming the society
Yes,
and government.
that, as Dr. Ramesh also supplemented, probably a good monitoring system. A good monitoring system will really bring better resolution that instill better confidence in the community. For example, in Karnataka, we installed about 6,000 rainfall monitoring sensors, about 1,000 weather monitoring sensors. Recently, we had a task force to really look into the water policy, and I was a member of the task force. Now, what is the recommendation is to increase it to 8,000 weather monitoring sensors, from 1,000 to 8,000, and rainfall monitoring sensors from nearly 6,000 to 28,000. Probably, these are the things which really helps us to really get a better insight. And once I have a better insight, certainly I can convince the people around me to
Yes.
believe me, to listen to me, to
Yes.
really follow me. So then this is the way forward, I think.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Until and unless you have something on hand, until and unless you are confident, you cannot disseminate. So that is what has happened in Jaipur also. In spite of having two arresters, people died. So who should take the blame? And why not the complacency by the local officials? That is what we have been crying hoarse. At least Andhra Pradesh High Court has come out stating that governments should not interfere with local bodies, panchayats or urban local bodies. We say strike down entry 5 from the state list so that they can function independently. Only then we can have the system in place in a confident way so that the dissemination of information occurs. After all, to protect or to save lives, to prevent precious lives being lost is more important, including the animal husbandry, as you rightly said, and whatever you said, the ecology, and then the economy. So we cannot just sit idle like this. I only hope we'll come back to you next week. Why this lightning has become hazardous in this present day when you compare it to the earlier stage. Yes, I'll request 3 honored guests also. I hope they will give me some time next week as per their schedules, so that we'll go live on that also, so that we can make people to become very, very sensitive, because its life is in our hands. Yes, Sanjay ji, before we wind up, I make you a presenter. So do's and don'ts, again the Damini app for people. And
One bad news is that in last 24 hours, the death toll has risen now to 89 from 74.
very sad, sir.
UP alone has 56 deaths
My
in last
God.
24 hours.
My goodness.
And so is Madhya Pradesh, large number of deaths. But both these states doing nothing, no action for saving life.
Very
Again,
sad.
I invite them to the Lightning Resilient India campaign. Join us and use the early warning, use the do's and don'ts, what to do, what not to do.
I hope
And
the chief ministers
very
are listening to
simple
you.
thing.
Yeah. Yes,
Very
sir.
simple thing, do the vulnerability assessment of your village or wherever you are. Do the risk assessment. That's important. And then work out an action plan. Very basic thing, understanding the risk. The first principle of Sendai framework. Early warning saves life. Teach them art of identifying lightning. 5-second rule. Make everyone download Damini app. And if you do not have a smartphone, even then you register. You will get SMS from Damini app. And preventive action on receipt of early warning. You should know the do's and don'ts. Understanding lightning hazard. You must know lightning comes from the sky and it hits the highest points like trees or isolated tall buildings or electric poles. It strikes in two ways, vertical ways, and after vertical, it spreads laterally. So if you are in open ground, agriculture field, you are vulnerable. So vertical strikes are fatal in dense areas, height, isolated structures like trees, poles, towers. Lateral strikes are fatal in open space, agricultural fields. Its impact, electric shock, failure of electric equipment, physical damage. Results are deaths. Step voltage, you will get electrocuted. You may get deaf. Your heartbeat may stop, so you have to administer CPR. These are the lightnings in coastal areas. Early warning, you should know when your hair rises, when your skin tingle, and you get the crackling noises. You should know the 5-second rule. If you see the flash, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If by 5 you hear the sound, it means lightning is 1 mile away. If you can count up to 10, lightning is 2 miles away. Similarly, these are the contents. Download Damini app. Damini is, this app should be named life-saving app. So this is important. On receipt of early warning, you should identify shelter for you. Never stand under isolated tree, water body, tinned roof, poles, towers, or high ground or open area. Alert others. Call children and people who are outside to safe shelters, home. This warning is generally for 30 to 40 minutes. You can see that on your Damini app. So you should alert people, and after the warning is over, go back to work. These are the lightning dangerous areas. You should identify this, like this peak, these isolated trees, these water bodies are dangerous areas. Avoid them. And you should intimate villagers which are the safe areas. If your activities in the morning should be on the western side because sun rises from east, eastern side of the hill gets lightning. In the second half, sun is in the west, so your cattle grazing and farming activities should be on the eastern side of the hill. This is a safe area. Intimate everybody in the village, your surrounding, which are the safe areas. Here, you should be away from tree, seek lowest ground or hollow areas, away from cracks and ridges. You should ideally sit on a ground with dry leaves or a chatai or a bad conductor material. You should present a small target. These are the lightning ICs. Your house should not be close to a single tree. There should be a group of trees. You should never stand under a tree. And in your house, you must install a lightning protection device. If you get caught in lightning, take the lightning crouch position. Your heels should be together. This is very important. And your ear should be covered by your hand. Your football field is unsafe. The moment lightning signal you get, leave the field immediately. Step 2, seek shelter in an enclosed building or car. When lightning roars, never stand under tree or outdoor. Follow this golden rule. Never take selfie during lightning. Children or you should be away from the windows and doors. Do not take bath or use the tap water during lightning. Must install lightning conductor or arrestor of scientifically correct device.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Thanks to you, and I should say thank you all. And this was a wonderful session. Thank you, sir. Take care, and I would like to see you next week on the reasons. I hope you'll give me some precious time of yours. Take care, sir. Good night. Sukha Nidra Shubha Ratri to all Indians.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Good morning, good
Thank you.
afternoon, and good evening to the world over. Take care, sir. Bye.
Thank you.